structure, you ain't like the opposition either. But take care, you jump out the hot water and end up in the center of the fire. Because you refuse to vote in election. But then you have want revolution. You strongly against communism. You walk out on colonialism. You say William Hanover, but who to replace him? So to make a long story short from in front,
Trinidadians said they know what they want. That maestro, that 1971, that song that you're hearing, that song 50 years old. Yes.
My friend, if you don't want democracy, the opposite is guerrilla activity. If you don't want democratic improvement, you have to want a revolutionist government. And yet when Guy Yearwood went in the hills with Jennifer Jones, you let them get killed. All you're doing is grinning and skylarking. You come like the ass in the lion's skin. Because you say Robinson is a traitor. You say what's that about Rachel? You say Kamal seeking his own interest. You call Millet a Marxist Leninist. You are what the AP, like that the AP. And you say TNN is only ratchet queen. Well, you tighten up yourself. I can tell you why. Trinidadians just like plenty mama.
Mama guy.
Afro-Trinidadian, talking black power. It's not wrong for a man to love his culture. Yes, you walk around with your Afro plait and you're dragging a dragon and fat saffron. But although they're rapping South Africa, you're eating roti like if you're born in India. So who you go play when you make your home and end up like a cat
On a haunted roof.
because you say you're going Afro all the way. Like you smile when they
Look what I find. I'm reading this tonight.
You beg him to stay a little longer. You reject us after public order. Now you want
The
it
same call for Prime Minister.
like your sense of reasoning goes and comes. You won't surprise me.
You bring back Albert Rose. The name of that song is Mr. Trinidad by Maestro. That's quarter way. That's quarter way, and I wanted to touch for you that we, like this, long time now, we ain't know what we want. All of the people who are asking, who just come, I'll say it again, between my birthday in 2017 and now, I developed something called a bone spur, and on Friday last, the talented Dr. Ravindra Lalla removed it for me. Tomorrow the stitches come out and it's in healing process. That's all it is. And if you've been watching me all these years and didn't notice that I had this little bump here, that's called a bone spur. People get it, they don't know why, and I had it removed. Okay? Chill. Focus on what we're here to do. I know I'm pretty, I'm sexy, and you want to get all up inside of me, but you got the whole strain. Look what I find. I find this. Now, if you think the cover funny, this is the PNM win an election with this book. Lema, but you cannot tell me. The PNM win an election with this book. I go in and read this book. Only think I'm joking. Only think I'm joking. This, the name of the book is The Foot Book by Dr. Seuss. Lema, this is what Churchill was dancing to in the road. You think I'm joking? Left foot, left foot, left foot, right. This is, I didn't make this book. I find this book in my children's library. This is what the PNM beat all you with, beat us with. The foot book. Left foot, right. Feet in the morning, feet at night. Left foot, right. Wet foot, dry foot, low foot, high, low foot, high foot. I'm trying to share it with you as I read it. Low foot, high foot, front feet, black feet, red feet, black, front feet, back feet, red feet, black feet, left foot, right foot, feet. How many feet do you meet? This is the PNM whole election campaign 2020. Slow feet, quick feet, trick feet, sick feet. Man write a song with up feet, down feet, here comes a clown feet. Small feet, big feet, here comes pig feet. His feet, her feet, fuzzy, fur feet. Hey, how much people they think they have outside there brave enough to have a scar on their forehead from surgery on Friday and still come in and do their live videos? In the house and on the street, how many feet you meet? Up in the air feet, over a chair feet. More and more feet, 24 feet. Here come more and more feet. Left foot, right foot, feet. This is PNM whole election campaign. The Minister of Falling Down, Stuart Young, I watch him do a dance in Belmont. Left foot, right foot. And I say, boy, when you see money involved, man will do anything. There are two things man will do anything for. How to name the first one? Because you'll notice, for 2021, I have been a church boy. For 2021, I parliamentary. For 2021, I ain't cussing nobody. For 2021, the priest and the archbishop back on my live video because I'm not cussing. So there are two things men will do anything for. I know how to tell you. I had to go and look up the lyrics for a song called OPP. You know that song? You have an OPP, hey, you know me. Alright, so there's a line in the song where he says, you know that song? Go on YouTube and listen to OPP, other people's property. I was just trying to find it. Sorry I'm taking so long. Please forgive me. OPP, how can I explain it? I'll take you frame by frame it. To have you all jump in, shall we sing in it? O is for other, P is for people scratching temple. The last P, well, that's not so simple. It's sort of like another way to call a cat a kitten. That's the last P. So it's a way to call a cat a kitten. That's the two things men will do anything for. When they tell Stuart, boy, put on your lowriders and go out in Belmont and shake your money maker. Now, the boy have difficulty walking. He's been falling down all over the place. They take a risk sending him out to dance in public. And, well, at least he didn't get injured. But the PNM whole campaign, 2020, the foot book by Dr. Seuss. You can get this, we buy it in Trinidad. The foot book by Dr. Seuss. It's a real book. I didn't make this. But when I find that, I say I have to share with you. Now, let's talk some serious things before we get back into what we're here for. The Citizens Union of Trinidad and Tobago. People keep asking, you see, they have other people who do live videos, who get paid to do live videos, or who are out here for shares and likes, and all of that is cool. Take your money, take your shares and likes, whatever it is you're doing it for, when you're getting it in the end, take it. You know what we do this for? The Citizens Union of Trinidad and Tobago. Let me give you an example. Today, we started processing 24 people who have been charged for not wearing a mask while in the car with their family. Last night, I told you all that law is an idiot law and that we are going to challenge that law. This morning, by 10 o'clock, we had two of the best attorneys in this country sign on, and they said, get all the people you could get who get tickets while in the car with their family. We're going to take it in the courts. We're going to represent them and get the courts to overturn it. Tomorrow, we are writing the Attorney General because the Legislative Review Committee should have catch this. They should have catch it. I want to tell you again. I tell you all last night. But some of y'all, when the sun rise and the sun set and it rise again, all you like goldfish. All you can't remember what you hear last night. And I'm going to say it again. All you see the thing with this PNM minister in she African wear that all they're sharing all over the place and saying if Kamala had wear sari and if Tim had wear dhoti, stop that. Stop that. Jackassery on the left and jackassery on the right is the same jackassery. UNC people, listen to me, or let us turn people off with that shit. Because the rest of Trinidad watching the PNM with a cut eye, we ain't like that party at all. We don't want to deal with them at all. But don't come and pretend that you're different and you're the same. If the woman wearing she African wear, let she wear she African wear and hush. Put on your sari and your dhoti if that's what you want to wear and hush. Or just stop appealing to the base. Or just stop appealing to race. Half for all you. If all you trigger confrontation between the races in this country will hold all your head and ball. Stop that shit. Don't share it, no matter who send it. If you get it in your WhatsApp from Kamala, tell Kamala, don't share shit like this with me. That is not the politics we're supposed to be in right now. PNM send them to ventilate the colon, winding back, spreading the Bamsi and Tobago, and take a cuttass. Yeah, it sounds like they're saying it's a tie. But brother, if you lose 50% of what you went into the game with at the start, you lost. You come out with less, and the other side come out with more. They gain ground. You lost ground. PDP is celebrating. Like how UNC celebrating that one council seat they get in Arima. UNC celebrating like they win a Pulitzer Prize. But I don't get them wrong. They don't see victories often, but they need to temper it. I see Trini Trio. Them, if it's one thing, you could pick up these little children, these little poor children, and you could buy them, Stark and all of them. You could buy them for shoes and socks. Trini Trio come out in his UNC shirt and playing tonight the Black Band Theatre Party. You win a council seat. I had a boss a long time ago when I was starting out, and he put me in charge of something. And on the first day, we had some targets. I was very young, and we had some targets. And I blow away the target. By the end of the day, I say, well, we're a success. The man ain't even break a smile. He watch me say, one sparrow don't make a summer. Never forget that. Count your victory. Gird your loins. Marshal yourself. Prepare and offer yourself to the public as a better, different alternative to yourself, to the UNC they remember, and a different alternative to the PNM. Because nobody wants to support racist bullshit yellow as a countermeasure to racist bullshit red. Back to what I was telling you. Today, we started processing people blowing up my phone. No problem. No problem. Send your tickets. WhatsApp it to me with your story. I was in the car with my son, I was in the car with my wife, I was in the car with my child, I was in the car with my whole family. They stop here and they give you a ticket. That's what we want. Because, and I had to read this for you. See, I have like a research, my whole research team, Kendall Baggy and them, I know what going on with them right now. Everybody on a go slow, it look like. Kendall, talk to me. But I want to thank, and I can't even call his name. I promise I wouldn't call the police officer name. I want to read this to you because this is the legal notice 39 of 2021 that makes it illegal for you to drive in a car with your wife and your children if you're not wearing a mask. You just come out your house with your wife and your children and already have one mask, ticket for everybody. Now, it is an idiot that had to let this pass. When it says subsection 6(1), no person shall, without reasonable excuse, travel in a vehicle or vessel without wearing a face mask, face shield, or face covering in a manner which covers his nose, mouth, and chin. Nose, mouth, and chin. They had to say nose, mouth, and chin because your chin obviously spreads coronavirus. I want to tell you something. It is like idiots. All you think I'm joking? The footbook win an election. Where you think was going in the parliament? Where you think was going to draft laws? The footbook. We have a kindergarten for a parliament. Them just there to thief and eat. Hear this law, man. How to come here chin? Not your nose and your mouth, your chin. No problem at all. The sycophants will find a way to justify it. It had a hook on your chin, Phil. Or what about your ears? And this hook on your ears? How come your name ears? 2. Where the person under this regulation is a child accompanied by an individual who has responsibility for the child, the individual shall provide and ensure the child has and wears the face mask, face shield, or face covering as required by this regulation. Sub-regulations 1 and 2 of 6 do not apply to a child who is under the age of 8. So to my police officer friend, because I have been dealing with this for the past 24 hours, and you and I having a nice running conversation, and I know you're telling me that you saw the video last night, I want to tell you this. When you told me that I was in the car alone with Bella, and I told you Bella is 2.5, and you told me I still have to wear a mask, subsection 6 says I don't if the child is under 8. Because if she cannot catch it, the only person in the car she could catch it from is me. And if I am the only person in the car, I don't need a mask. But this is the important part here. Forget all of that, you know. Forget all of that. They have sub-regulations 1 and 2 do not apply. For the purposes of sub-regulation 1, the circumstances in which a person has a reasonable excuse include those where, and they go on to say A, the person cannot put on or wear because of any physical or mental illness or impairment or disability or without severe distress. Without severe distress. B, the person is traveling with or providing assistance to another person who relies on lip reading. So the two of them could get COVID-19 and dead, but they're communicating well. Listen now, you have everything. E, the person removes their face mask to avoid harm or injury. The person is traveling to avoid injury. E, it is reasonably necessary for the person to eat or drink. F, the person has to remove his face mask, face shield to take medication. G, a request is made of the person. H, the circumstances provided for the guidelines. You notice I, Mr. Attorney General, both adults in the car are in possession of their valid national identification that shows their relationship to each other and their address. Officer, look we, both of we have the same last name. Both of we have the same address. Officer, why that didn't make sub-regulation I? Why didn't common sense prevail? All of us who, you have to remember now you're going out of the house, hey, don't forget your mask. Or, hey, remember your ID. Because we're driving. And if we together in the car, and we don't want to be breaking the law, all we need is our national ID to show that we live in the same house and that we're related. So I'm going to write to the Attorney General tomorrow, but I'm telling you today, and we're going to fight it in the court if they don't rush to the Parliament and amend it. And every single ticket that has been written, because you see the bullshit you're telling me about people who pull in bull in PH taxi, and we need PH taxi because H taxi don't go off route, but you want to regulate PH taxi when the little girl in Santa Cruz get murdered. And you talk that big, you jump out fast, you tell them, we're going to fix it. But you're going to fix it 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, 4 day, 5 day, 6 day, 7 day, 8 day, 9 day. They move on, forget that. Leave the PH taxis alone. Because PH taxis Anyway, listen, some things I can't say without parliamentary privilege. I can't. Some of the things I had to be there to say it, so we will stick a pin, as we say. But you need to regulate the PH taxis. You need to collect taxes. You need to make sure that the vehicle people driving in insured. Because people, little boy children and girl children, get into the vehicle and they have no insurance and they get in an accident and they get damaged. Who paying the medical bills? The insurance company? No, it's non-existent. They have a bounce and lose insurance. You ever notice they have a building in Woodbrook? Every couple of years, the name of the insurance company is changed. But it's still car insurance they sell in there. We can't run nothing in Trinidad and Tobago. We can't. We're not capable of protecting our people and running the country. We can't. When all they dare to do is bullshit you, give you pixie dust. Let's call them, but what? Look, pixie dust. Watch. Only the PNM could sell a refinery to a union. Nobody else could do that. When he doing this, what he doing? I feel it anyway. Nobody else, and we did that. But you didn't do it. You didn't do it, you lied. Like when you lied to said, and you said, OWT was patriotic when they bid because they're the only one who had an upfront cash payment. And because they had an upfront cash payment, we get them the bid. And then the next time you talk, you say, well, because there's a union and they win the bid, we defer the cash payment. So what you're saying, nothing you say makes sense. And I had to check. Because I wasn't in the kitchen, I wasn't opening the fridge. Every time you talk, I listen. The man tell me, don't go in the kitchen when we're talking. And I stop. I could be hungry, I could be thirsty. If they're talking, I'm listening. And I especially not opening the fridge door. Because I don't know if home by Rowley, the fridge door, the song like a lawnmower. When you open the fridge, you can't hear anything else. You can't hear the TV because the fridge is open. I don't understand that, but that's how it is, and PNM people understood that, so we went with that. So I stopped going in the fridge once Rowley talking, or him but nothing making sense, and nothing adding up. You have a country to run. You have to protect that little girl who get killed and her body dumped in that drain in Santa Cruz. Is the government to blame? Because the PH taxi is running amok, unregulated. People will write me, Felco, don't come off on the PH taxis now. We do a general hustle. I'm not saying no. I'm not saying no. But I'm saying to you, we need you to have a roadworthy car if you're picking up passengers. We need you to have that vehicle checked. We need you to have the driver has to have a big badge that somebody jumping in the car could take a snapper picture and send it to the family. This who picked me up. You could put one of them little scan thing on the car door and you're getting in the car when it stops, you pass your smartphone, it gone to your family. Police come, who's the last person had your child? They get in this car. They have to know where to find you. You must have a last known address. It can't be no fixed abode in driving people turn around. You can't be driving a vehicle, you turn right, the tire turn left, and everybody end up in the ravine. You need to put something in place. And you know that every single one of you who have ever held government have known that. So don't give me the PH taxi as the bullshit excuse because we don't know who in the car is passenger and who is family. Make the law. If you have national ID, amend the law. Just say, if you could provide national ID to the police officer that says, there's my name and there's my address. And if you two all living in the same house, all you don't even have to have the same last name. You're living in the same house. So if you could live in the same house mask-free, whether you are husband, wife, roommates, it doesn't matter. If your address and my address is the same house, then we could be in the same car. Because the only person to infect us is each other. And we live in the same house. We open the same fridge when Rowley not speaking. Plain talk. The people who draft the law didn't think. There's nobody who thinks there. Anyway, the Citizens Union today rescued a 65-year-old woman who was put out of her house in Freeport. I don't know what she looked like, and I never talked to her in my life. But she sent me a message. And the message was, I want to tell you all tonight, you have to know what this organization does so you will understand. Don't compare me to everybody else who's turned on the camera phone. I want you to know today, these kind of messages I get. Mr. Alexander, this is a different case. I'm just reading them in order so you understand the things that we intervening in. Mr. Alexander, good evening. I have a different concern. Do you know what law it have in places for bosses who are not providing sanitary products, etc., yet expect the staff to share personal items such as work phones that are being placed on persons from person to person in the midst of COVID? I'll be glad if you can assist. Tomorrow morning, we're calling that boss. I really want you to hear this lady. I want you to hear this lady's story. Because it's important. And I shared it. And I shared it with my group. Good morning, Mr. Alexander. She spelled my name A-L-A-X-A-N-D-A. And I respect that. Good morning, Mr. Alexander. My name is Sharifa. I am from Freeport. My husband and children put me out of my home. I put them in court for domestic violence. I don't have anywhere to stay. I am getting disability grant when I buy my medication and food. I am left with little or no money. I'm getting a room to rent for $900 a month. If anyone could help me to pay some, and I will pay some. I'll be 65 years on the 20th of June. When I apply for my pension, I'll be starting getting it 3 months after. I sleep at Chagona's Health Center sitting on a chair. Please help me, or if you can get someone to help me. Sometimes it's very hard to get something to eat. My MP is Mr. Ratiram. If you can talk to him for me, please. I feel like I don't want to live anymore. Please, I'm begging for this help. Thank you in advance. I share that. They put anyone who would like to assist Sharifa. Her number is so and so. Now, I hope he doesn't get vexed with me. One of the first people to respond is Kama Maraj, the owner of Sasha Cosmetics. See, I own it. We're dealing with it. He messaged me back later to say, we're on top of the financial issue. We need some clothes for the lady. I said, I will make an appeal. Kama Maraj, he is a world-renowned CEO. And he responds. We will deal with it. He's not the only one. And I know that Sharifa got some calls today, within hours of her reaching out to me. Her problems have started to solve. The sun has been shining on her today. Anybody who would like to assist Sharifa with clothes, it could be used clothes as long as they are wearable clothes for an adult woman. She is 65 years old. And anything else that you could assist Sharifa with, it doesn't have to be money. But if you want to assist her with bedding, with personal hygiene stuff, this is somebody's mother. And I don't know what went on in that piece of hell. And I don't lecture to people on these issues. But you see your mother and your father, let me tell you, unless you teach yourself to walk and feed yourself and change your diapers, I don't care how much wrong you think they wrong you. Unless they molest you and physically abuse you, parenting, not easy. And all of you who are parents know. That's why they make jokes, like the jokes that they make. They have children jokes that they share, how much things children do that send parents off the deep end. A fellow talk about his child, heard him saying he wanted to paint the porch And the child came in smiling with yellow paint on his hands, and he told him, I paint the porch for you. The father went outside and they had no paint on the porch, but the man drove a Porsche, and the child didn't understand, and he put yellow house paint all on the man's Porsche. Children are very difficult. This lady, 65 years old, her family, that she put in court for domestic violence, something going on there, and all she wants is her out. Kama Maraj. I salute you, sir. You're a giant among men. You didn't have to respond, and you did. And it is people like you that keep me hoping on. Because as long as I can continue to link up people like Sharifa with people like Kama, remind me of Rabindra Munan. Rabindra Munan, when Rudal Munilal was Minister of Housing, I put up a post about a lady who was covered in tumors that I was rescuing. She had nowhere to live. She was literally living underneath somebody's house. And I put up the story. And one of the first people to contact me to get involved was Rabindra Munan. And Rabindra said, listen, we're going to get her house. And they didn't stop until they got her a house. And they didn't take credit. Rudal Monilal and Rabindra Munan didn't take credit. They didn't look to bring her on a stage. They didn't look to come and say, look, we had him keys to somebody who would have never get a help. And she was in Diego Martin West, living on a mountain. Nobody in the PNM. She tried. I don't want to politicize that. I don't. But our people not supposed to have to write me and tell me these things. This evening, Lorna Ray McCrae, who is trying to get medical attention from public health. She can't afford to go West Shore. She told me today on a live video. Mr. Phillip, I have the exact thing the Prime Minister went West Shore for. She was admitted to our public health hospitals 9 times since June last year. They keep patting the woman on her head and discharging her. She get a stroke. She ended up back in a Rima hospital yesterday, and they put her to sit down on a chair in Mount Hope today. She reached out, she said, oh God help me. She reached out, she said, oh God help me. And I did the live video. I said, the only thing I could do is to do a live video for you. And if I do a live video with you, we will solve the problem, because sometimes it's just communication. I tried to get Terrence the Alsa, he couldn't take the call. He sent a message, text me. I called Davlin Thomas, the CEO of the Regional Health Authority. He didn't take the call, but his voicemail left a number. I called that number and encountered a lady named Candice. And Candice said to me, live on the phone, she's going to see what's going on with Lorna Ray and call me back. She called me back on my phone, which is what I was doing the live on. I had to stop the live. And she called back to say that they are going to deal with it. She's going to deal with... Look now. She's going to deal with it by this evening. We get a message from Lorna Ray McCrae. Thank you. Action speaks louder than words come to mind. Lots of pain and discomfort, but still I am resting comfortably. You see, because of you wonderful guys, I now have what I deem best normal people looking after me. People who know how to treat other normal folks with what is needed in these circumstances. Looking forward to speaking and meeting with you all as soon as I am able. God bless and keep you always. Love you. When you get to a place where there is nobody for you to call, and Miss Candice at the Regional Health Authority, I am going to find you and reward you for your humanity, because you don't know me and you didn't know Lorna Ray, but you dealt with her issue. And I thank you very, very much. And I want you all to understand that logo you're seeing there, the Citizens Union of Trinidad and Tobago, continues to rescue people daily in all manner of circumstances. Some we cannot make public. But I want you to know what we did today. 3 people. All 3, well, actually 2 people and then 24 people. But 2 reached out today and got assistance today. Because if we take up the matter, we're not going to stop. We are going to solve it one way or the other. We're going with it. Like the matter with the $20 million allocated to spend on the Ministry of Public Administration in Farris Building. We sent them a we sent them a Freedom of Information request asking for a breakdown of what cost $20 million, because the entire building could be replaced for less than $20 million. So if you were outfitted it for $20 million, what did you outfit it with? We asked for that. They ignored us. According to the law, our next step is a pre-action protocol letter that we published. The media didn't publish it. Guardian media didn't publish it. Express didn't publish it. No problem. We published it on social media. But social media told me today that between the 29th of January and today, I have had 465,000 views on what I've shared. 465,000 views in less than a month. Now, I don't know what kind of numbers CNC3 and TV6 getting, but 465,000 views of my posts is a lot. And it seems that a lot of people follow what we write and what we put out, despite all the blocks and all the interference and everything else that comes with it. But night could only run till they catch it. I want you to remember that. I want you to remember his long rope from MAGA goat. They try every way to stop us. We said no. Today, I met with the leadership team of the Citizens Union of Trinidad and Tobago. Every Tuesday we meet. We met today to discuss the issues we are about to handle. Before the end of this week, the Ministry of Public Administration is going to get what our lawyers call a final shot across the bow. Either you follow the law or we are taking you to the High Court, which will force you to follow the law or be in contempt of court. And I don't mind that you're stalling. I don't care what you're doing. I'm hearing people saying they allocated 20 but they only spent 8. I want to know what you allocated 20 million. Whether you spend it or not. I want to know how, on what grounds you allocated $20 million to furnish a 4-story, 5-story building. I want to know. All of the people should want to know. Lorna Ray McCrae, who's been in and out of our public health 9 times, who has had to suffer a stroke. Rowley didn't have to suffer a stroke. The same things he needed, she needed. But Rowley know why he didn't go public health. Rowley know why the vehicle turnout of Prime Minister residence and drive past General Hospital like a full bus and turn right and find its way down to the Foreshore Freeway to get to West Shore quick. Because we want real professional healthcare. Lorna Ray was entitled to that. She can't get it because you spent $20 million to outfit a building. You spent $2.5 million for rope in Tobago. She can't get it, and people like her cannot get it because all you're mismanaging the country, misappropriating the public funds. And that can't continue. It can't. I have said that I will work with the UNC, but I am not working with any version of the UNC other than a straight up, accountable, and transparent UNC. And I want that to be pellucidly clear, because we are uncovering the frying pan to jump in the fire. The people of this country, and last night, the country exhaled in Tobago. Tobagonians have it worse than Trinidadians. Because the PNM sent the THA to hijack the Tobago economy, mash it up. Mash up the economy, take people's house, take their job. You know what business closed down? You know what business closed down to make way for sandal scandal that never will happen again? And then people just lost their life savings for rowdy bullshit. The THA has every single Tobagonian dependent on the THA for their standard of living and quality of life in some way. So when people in Tobago stand up against the THA, they're risking, when they stand up against the PNM THA, that malicious organization, they're risking eating. They're risking paying their bills. They're risking bank coming. You ain't pay a mortgage for 3 months, boss, the THA holding back my check. I ain't want to hear that. We're taking the house. They're risking that for a better Trinidad and Tobago. And if Tobago could do it, why can't we? Why are we so blasted lazy and irresponsible in this country? You think when Sparrow sang "We Like It So" in 1980, he risked his whole musical career. The PNM say it's time to send Sparrow back Grenada in a drum. The same man they call the Calypso King of the world a year before. He's the greatest. He's the greatest. But he stopped supporting the PNM, send him back Grenada in a drum. That's a threat. A threat. When you stand up against the criminality, when you all realize the kind of money that has been stolen in this country, the reason nobody is seeing them people faces up in the post office and in the police station, we're looking for these. You seeing that? $3 trillion gone. You're not seeing Johnny O'Halloran picture anywhere. Nowhere wanted. Nowhere. Man thief all the money, went to Canada and built a skyline. Why are we? That's the only question. Anytime somebody come to talk politics with you, ask them, why are we so irresponsible? Why could we could talk it, we could know it, we could lambaste, we could meme, we could joke about it, we could make all kind of noise. But when it come time to stand up for Trinidad and Tobago, we are the worst. Most Trinidadians trying to get a green card or papers to Canada. That is success to a Trini. To proudly boast on social media that they took the oath and they're an American citizen today. That means 58 years of PNM, and I don't let the PNM escapees go. Those who run to Uncle Sam to get that green card, to get that paper, you're still talking PNM bullshit, trying to trap the people who still here, but you run away. Tell me why you left. If the PNM great, why you left? Why? Talking about what Kamla thief. And I can't tell you if corruption under the UNC was greater or less than the PNM. But for them jackasses who talking about what Kamla thief, they had 36 years of PNM before that. What Eric and the boys thief, they couldn't find. Not one thing built in this country was not riddled with corruption. The Foreshore Freeway ended up in the Guinness Book of World Records as the most expensive quarter mile of roadway on the planet. The most expensive quarter mile of road on the planet. And they have roads in China, Boston. Boston redesigned and redeveloped their entire central urban system without shutting the city down. You know the kind of money that's cost? When you have to manage time and motion, You see, if you're just building a building or you're building a structure, that's one thing. But if you have to manage the movement of other things around you, and they have safety protocols and safety officers, and they have timelines that you cannot deviate from, when things could come in, when they can't come in, things that automatically add to the bottom line. And they didn't become the most expensive quarter mile. We, notorious central bank towers. It is a disgusting insult to know that our central bank is built in a building that is corrupt, that building it. The architect said the engineers couldn't find solid ground and them just kept digging. They have more piles below Central Bank Tower in Trinidad. They had to keep piling millions of dollars per foot just to put that double middle finger up in the sky so Eric Williams and them could clap one another. Every single thing. Riverside Plaza. Nobody know what they built Riverside Plaza for. They built Riverside Plaza with a multi-story car park across the road, but nobody knew what they built it for. When Besson Street Police Station closed, we have an empty building there, Riverside Plaza. Take that. They built it to thief money. Riverside car park to thief money. We have vagrants in town. Let them go and live in the car park. We don't park cars there because nobody go in Riverside Plaza. Everything. Mount Hope Hospital costs 100 times what Mount Hope Hospital should have cost. Hilton, Trinidad, under the PNM, under Patrick Manning, they renovated Hilton, Trinidad, and the money that they spent to renovate Hilton, Trinidad could have built Hilton, Trinidad 4 times, going up Lady Young Road. We paid $700,000 per room for the Hyatt. Per room. $700,000 for a room. You can swing a cat in it. $700,000 per room. That's what the Hyatt cost us. This country just spent $17 million to renovate the cottage behind President's house that's not worth $2 million. But the same PNM barking dogs that talk about Jack Warner and the $5 million to bring up a $1 million fire engine will dare not talk. The same barking dogs that all over the media, they wouldn't dare say $5 million to bring up a $1 million fire engine. You spend $17 million to renovate a cottage that's not worth $2. In other words, for the money you spent, you could have demolished the president's cottage and built it over 7 times and have change. And then spent $98 million on president's house that was missing a roof and a floor. The stone structure was there like the Red House. The basic structure, when you're doing construction, when you're doing development, the superstructure is what's costing money. That's the money. Not tell you about the outfitting. The outfitting is joke. What you outfit with? Gold? No. Because the brass rails inside the Parliament chamber is aluminum painted brass. Drag your key on it now. Go and drag your key on it. I'm waiting for them to tell me that's a lie. $500 million. And I asking about that. Udicott taking taxpayers' funds to sue me and saying I defaming Udicott for asking how you spend $500 million on a building to renovate it. How? How? How is it possible? What did you do? They say, well, this is not a renovation, it's a restoration. Everything bullshit. Because Woodford Square fence is original ironmongered wrought iron. RHS outside Red House. And I could go inside the Red House and show you your $51 million doors were a refinish of existing doors. $500 million. People like Lorna Ray and all the children who have to settle, and 14 children, Stuart Young and Lauren Lizama Lising, give 14 PNM supporters children use laptops and cuss Kamala who give out 95,000 new laptops across the board. It wasn't just Indian schools, it was nationally. It didn't just go in Indian area, it was nationally. Telling the children only want to go and look at porn. Where? What numbers you were relying on? Yours? You use your computer for porn, so you think everybody? You want to groom everybody past you, so you think everybody else's brain between everybody else's legs? Why are we so irresponsible? We spent $500 million a year to desalinate water because the tanks that could capture and hold the water to treat and distribute turned off and empty. We spend billions of dollars. There are people who are contractors for WASA. We pay money for WASA workers and then we pay contractors to do WASA workers' work. It's like we finance the Ministry of Works that's supposed to have all of the equipment to be paving roads. The Ministry of Works in Trinidad and Tobago has no job because somebody else, a Junior Sammy, a Kusals, a Calco, somebody else always building the drain, always fixing the road. So what's the point of the Ministry of Works having all them depot and all them equipment that you're buying from all them vehicle importers? Can we just buying things to rust and dead? The Citizens Union of Trinidad and Tobago is a step forward from politics. The Citizens Union of Trinidad and Tobago is a large step forward from the old talk that takes place on social media. Satish Ramsaran was given a responsibility today to account and document all that we've accomplished since we started the Citizens Union 2 months ago. And to those of you who are not yet members, we ask you, and I ask you tonight, 486, cut. 471, cut. 769-4590. Any of those numbers. If you can't get through, message me. 682-2110. I'll make sure it gets done. It's not enough for people to be turning on live videos and ranting and telling you what's wrong. It's time now for everybody to put their money literally where their mouth is. If you're going to talk what wrong, lead me to what right. The Citizens Union is showing that if the Progressive Empowerment Party was in government, we would have fixed things already. Things would have started to change. We had a plan that would have caused $1 billion to come into this country as initial seed capital. We had plans to utilize and re-establish, redevelop a lot of the things that are being sold for peppercorns, pennies on the dollar, the friends and financiers of the PNM and the UNC. And we have to decide, are we satisfied playing any, mini, miny, mo? Are we satisfied? There are some good people in the PNM and there are some good people in the UNC. But if the leadership of those parties are not about making it all good, then where do we go? And I understand people saying, and I'm willing to try, but the UNC members and supporters need to understand. Suzette Lauer said something today, and I had to endorse what she said. Without the swing vote, that Arima Council seat is the sum total. You could print the whole map of Trinidad and say UNC controlling the most land. But the reality is constituencies in Trinidad are broken down to 35,000 people. And 35,000 people to make a Mayaro is plenty land. 35,000 people to make a Diego Martin Central is small. For you to win, you need to put down roots in every constituency. You need to be a national party. You need to bring the UNC beyond the Caroni Bridge. You have to. And if you don't, my children and your children may be having this conversation, hopefully if nothing is changing, some of us may have the ability and the sense to get out. I love Trinidad and Tobago. Love it. Love my country. There's nothing I wouldn't do for it. I've given up a large part of my life to help rescue it. I work hard for the homeless, the orphans, the disabled. I have done 26 years. I have worked hard at trying to get a better Trinidad and Tobago. I have worked with the NAR. I have worked with the COP. I tried to form alliance. What is it called? The party with Gary and Timothy Hammersmith. The Third Force movement. We've tried the Progressive Empowerment Party. Never stopped trying, never stopped, never gave up. There are people who disappear for 5 years and then elections come in and they show up. Yeah, we're gonna do things too. The Citizens Union of Trinidad and Tobago is the same people that were the Progressive Empowerment Party. It's the same people that built the Jericho Project. It's the same people that have been working and feeding and helping and clothing and still not stopping. And now, we are going to go a step further, but we can't go without you. 100,000 of you. When we tell Flow Communications, the cable bill is too high, and we want to write a letter to Flow, but we want to write a letter to Flow on your behalf, to tell Flow that we, the people of Trinidad and Tobago, need you to have some corporate responsibility and lower your rates. That there needs to be a basic cable, basic internet package under $200 for poor people. And we need you to understand that you are the big game in town. And if you're not prepared to treat with the people who need you to be responsible as a corporate citizen, then we're going to have to take steps to replace you. And the first step is to boycott you, to call on everybody to go to your offices and hand you back all of your boxes and all of your devices and say, we will do without cable, we lived without cable, and we will wait until we get a proper cable company that respects the people of Trinidad and Tobago. Now, there are rich people who have the all package. How much it is? 7,000 a month? Just bill winner, man. The company paying for it. The all package. We have HBO Plus, HBO Max, HBO Minus, HBO Go and look for it. They have everything. But the average Trinbagonian who working on a fixed income, taking too many hits. And we want to write the banks. We want to go and have a conversation with the Bankers Association of Trinidad and Tobago on your behalf. Us, the Citizens Union of Trinidad and Tobago, we want to make an appointment with the Bankers Association of Trinidad and Tobago to go to them and tell them that how you operate in banks in this country is contradictory to the terms of real banking and the license you're operating under, or you were supposed to be operating under. And we need the fees to come down. And we need you to start paying interest on depositors' funds again. I'm trying to get you to understand that saying you win if the PNM win, and saying you win if the UNC win, but nothing in your world changing, what did you win? So we going to prove the point that we really don't want power, and we really don't want office. Don't need the blue lights. We're cool, but we'd like to harness the intentions of democracy, and together with as many civic-minded people as possible, make the country work. You see, the courts could order state organizations. We are going to sue for recall. And I am going to make a case to Trinidad's courts that any bingo club, any organization of any kind that exists, hires and fires. And inside of the knowledge that you can be fired is what makes people do their job. None of our other laws, anti-corruption, procurement, none of those things matter as much as recall. The UNC is organizing a round table on procurement, on what the PNM did to the procurement. But the UNC needs to get on board recall. Because all all the other laws will start to function. Every organization of state will start to function if we can fire non-performing public servants from the Prime Minister down. And if we take it to the local courts, and the local court said we are loath to involve ourselves in the operation of the parliament, then we have to seek leave and take it to the Privy Council, who wrote Westminster, that we say we operate in, to guide us, because Eric Williams knew what he was doing when the only thing that he left out of his 2 constitutions, Eric Williams wrote 2 constitutions, and he left out of both of them the ability for the citizens to fire him, to fire the member of parliament. And it is not right that people get voted into office and collect a fat salary, perks, a position in society, and then ignore the people who put them there, because they were put there for a reason, to serve the people. And if we could get recall as law, so we, the Citizens Union of Trinidad and Tobago, are going to be organizing our own round table, and we are going to be calling all of civic society and all political parties together for one thing, nothing else. So we're not joining up, we're not linking up, we're not making a people's partnership. We're calling everybody together to say that we should have the ability to fire non-performing MPs anytime during the 5 years. And with a recall, with a razor-thin majority in the parliament, you have 2 seats, and you're not delivering, and the people not happy, and they trigger recall in 2 of those seats, and you lose them, you lose government. So you have the incentive to work or get fired. The Citizens Union of Trinidad and Tobago is going to do those things. But we cannot do it without your assistance. Legal fees are not cheap. But you don't have to put $10,000. I mean, if you could afford $10,000, make it out. Call Felicia now and tell her I'm giving you the $10,000. It's $100,000. We're taking it. Because it's all for that. We don't eat off of that. We don't live off of that. All of it is to create a space to assist the people that we help, to get involved. We, as the Progressive Empowerment Party, gave out more hampers than any other political party, save and except maybe the PNM and the UNC, and I wasn't counting theirs. But I know that our supporters and our members gave us the opportunity to put out hundreds of hampers during COVID-19. We cannot do what we want to do without your support. We need your physical presence. When we tell KFC, it's time to lower the prices. This is what people power does. If it helps you to understand that we all take a fast from fried chicken for a week, the whole country agree, take a fast for a week. It's good for your heart, it's good for your wallet, and it will give them, in all of the fried chicken companies, time, because they don't have to work, they have the chicken to fry, they have nobody to sell it to, the stores could stay closed, and they can have conversations among themselves as to how to save money, to pass the savings on to the consumers who have been so good to them over the decades. Trinidad is the #1 consumer of KFC in the world consistently. We should be treated better. Buy KFC. Colonel Sanders should live here. That should be on the list of demands. And that is a joke. But our reality is, for as long as we allow them to separate us as Indian, African, Syrian, Chinese, white people, other people, red people, Douglas people, as long as we Hindu, Christian, Baptist, Muslim, as long as we everything but Trinidadians, as long as they could divide and splinter and separate us into who's Zessin and who Wessin, as long as that could happen, we won't speak with one voice. And until we speak with one voice, we won't get anything done. Trinidad and Tobago ended up with multiples of radio stations, multiples of TV stations, cable licenses. All of those things happened when we voted the National Alliance for Reconstruction into office. Because they were able to change everything. Before that, everything was controlled by the state or friends of the state who were fortunate enough to get a license. I keep saying, if you want a better country, you have to fight for it. I don't mean going in the road and pelting stone. All them people who want to march. Marching has done practically nothing for you. And now, burning tires and blocking road with Gary as commissioner of police ain't getting your way. I thought you was getting under the rest. Because Gary come in and blow it away, moving everybody. Because that's his rule. But there are more important things that you could do without breaking a sweat. And it calls for some sacrifice. We've learned how to do it during COVID-19. COVID-19 pandemic gave us an opportunity to rethink how we live and how we treat with each other. And that could be our new normal. We don't have to force wearing a mask, trying to get a vaccine, to go back to the old shitty way that left so many of our people drug addicted, alcoholics, suicidal, some of the highest rates of mental illness in the world. Trinidad and Tobago. Yeah, those things we don't talk about. Valdez and Torrey and McCann Erickson and Lonsdale, Sachi and Sachi. Don't make ads about that. They can tell you the Ganges meet the Nile, and that's cool. That's good. Tell us also the truth of our condition. Highest diabetes in the world, highest death by heart disease in the Western world. Tell us the truth. Our diet is shit. Our money is crap. The value we get for a unit of work compared to the average neighbor of Trinidad and Tobago is a lie. In Guyana, they just jailed 2 government ministers for corruption. GMMB Bank in Jamaica was just handed a judgment to pay US $2.5 million to somebody whose house JMMB took and did that undervalued sell to a friend shit. And he took them to court, and the court said, yes, you cannot do that. There is equity in the house that you said was there. When you were taking this person's installment every month, you were taking it, relying on it to be worth something. You don't sell it for less than that, you're a cheat. JMMB just learned a lesson. Trinidad and Tobago used to be the shining island in the Caribbean for a while, for a time. It was like God was just smiling on us. He was shedding tears of joy on us. Everything we touched was the best. We had the best oil, we had the best refinery, we had the biggest pitch lake, we had the only nylon pool, the largest brain coral. Trinidad and Tobago was blessed beyond measure, overflowing, pressed down, and what happened? Dark days. Just darkness. It's bleak. It's sad. It's frightening. People can't afford to dead. Just to bury somebody in this country is tens of thousands of dollars. You can't even afford to dead in Trinidad and Tobago. It is not right. It is inconceivable that the third wealthiest nation in the Western world ended up here. And it is wrong if we let it continue this way. I am not asking you to vote for me. I am asking you to support us in the Citizens Union. Right now, the fastest way that you could do that is to go on the Citizens Union website, citizensuniontt.org, citizensuniontt.com, and sign up. There's a Facebook page. You can message. You can message me. You can WhatsApp me, 682-2110, 486-CUT, 471-CUT, CUTT, 769-4590. Call those numbers. Reach out to the members and say, I'd like to be involved. I'd like to join. Look, my $350. Put me down as a member. And I'll see what I could do to pass $100 a month your way. I like what you're doing. You see the people who's called me for Phillip, I love you, boy. I followed you from the start. I like every word that come out your mouth. Listen, save all of that. This is a mission. I'm not looking for friends, and the last thing I need is more smoke up my ass. It's crowded down there. What we need is cold, hard cash. Because lawyers cost money. Legal fees, expensive. And every time we get a good lawyer that says, I'll do this one for free or for $1, we're happy. Because we're doing all. And we're going after all. But not all we get for free. And we need your help. We need your assistance. For this to work, you have to want it to work. For people power to work, but we've demonstrated time and time and time and time and time and time again that it works. We've been here consistent. We've been doing this for a long time. The Progressive Empowerment Party lit a beacon of hope in this country that it has not seen for a long time. If anything, this election that just took place yesterday proved that shenanigans took place with the 2020 election. And I know that. I know they rob us bad. I know they thief with votes and they hide with votes. And I know all of that. Nothing I could do. There's nobody we could call. Yet. But there is a Citizens Union of Trinidad and Tobago. And people power could begin to change all of that. And something as simple as a law for recall could make all the difference in the world. And you yourself, if you find yourself in a public hospital, for example, and realize that you or your loved one can't get a bed, can't get in a room, they're sitting out there, they're suffering in pain, you don't know who to call me. But that has to be only for members. Because there's a lot of people calling. If I show you my phone on a daily basis, for this to work, we have to want it to work together. I will do everything in my power to help as many people as possible. A man whose Facebook profile name is Trinidadian Properties or something, I told a story about a woman who called me and told me about her family get murdered and others being threatened to be murdered and she need a visa. I said, I can't help you. I am overwhelmed. You don't help us. I have to keep all of my energy and all of my resources for the people who helping us. He told me, nah, you should help anyway, you're a leader. I wanted to tell him, bro, you could be a leader too. All you have to do is care. I don't bring nothing else special to the table. I care about people. But at the end of the day, I give up time with my family, my business, my life to do this. And I've been doing it for 26 years. Before you trip over your zip to tell me or give me advice, step into the Gael. Come into the arena. Bring your resources. Leave your family home. Put your business on hold. Risk the victimization that I have been taking and come and help total strangers. And then, give me talk. Until then, stay in your lane. Because I'm doing this a long time. And we have to now publicize the amount of work we do so that you know the work we do. Like when we go out to feed people on Christmas Day, people that say, don't let the left hand see what the right hand doing. That's bullshit. Jesus Christ himself in the Bible told them, go and tell people what you saw here. Go tell everyone the news that the kingdom of God has come. Go and tell them about the fishes and the loaves. Go and tell them that a man healed himself touching my garment. Go and tell them that I raised Lazarus from the dead. He was rotten and smelling stink when they opened the cave, and I raised that from the dead. Go and tell them so that they know. Christ said, tell you, hide. Hide. Don't let nobody know we saving lives. The mission is to find the best in everybody and get that to shine. When the red, white, and black, these colors, matter more to us than our cult symbol for political parties, then we will start to get those cults to work. PNM people, a fellow by the name of Christian Hume, of all people. I mean, this man terrorized my freaking life. He and Natalie Legault and Christian Hume, of all people, had to write today. I'll find it for you. No, I can't find it. And I'm sorry, I thought I saved that one. But Joseph Rich Paul and Daniel Jackson shared it. So you could reach out to them and they could show you. The point I'm trying to make, and the point I've been trying to labor to make for a long time is this. You don't have to like me, you don't have to love me, you don't have to live with me. But I do a lot for a lot of people as part of an organization of people who make it possible for me to do the things I do. Without Felicia Holler, Sean Sunarine, Satish Ramsaran, the rest of the team, It's not possible. I just like the rest of them talking into my phone. The truth where we stand is this country is what it is because we've allowed it to be so. The only thing that changes now can't be political parties. It has to be how we treat this democracy. One of the best ways to handle that is to organize yourself. To those of you who think, because I know a fellow had count, and he said if they get 100,000 members by 350,000, they make $2.5 million. I wanted to tell him right then, you know what? Don't count what we're doing. You do it too. And if more of us do it, you make yourself available. You do it too. And if you can do it for free, do it for free. But do it. Don't just talk about what we're doing. Do it too. Come on board and help people too. Because until you're in the kitchen, you can't talk about the heat. I need to bring this to a close. I really want as many of you who have viewed this tonight and who will view it in the coming days to please join the Citizens Union of Trinidad and Tobago. It is the only thing that is different out there. It is the only thing that is representing people who have nowhere else to turn. If you want a better Trinidad and Tobago, you have to be the change. This is a way to do that. Those of you who would like to volunteer and be part of the team, because we need manpower now to help deal with case management, come on board. Message me and say I'd like to help. Message Felicia Hola, message Satish Ramsaran. Kendall Baggy send me a message. That means somebody wake him up and say, Phillip looking for you. Apps boy. Kendall don't stick at all, you know. Chief Research Officer. The Christian Hume that I couldn't find, Kendall find it and send it to me. This is what Christian Hume, this man, this piss Balize juice. For the general election, Moruga got a whole handful of brand new facilities. PNM still lost. For the THA election, Tobago get 2 brand new ferries. PNM still lost. So they wait until they lose the general election in 2025 after building highways from here to Japan to get it through their prehistoric electoral skulls that the electorate is evolving. To understand that people cannot be bribed with things if you don't give a damn what they think. People will always demand physical infrastructure and services, but more so than ever before, people also want to know that you are listening to them. People want to know that they count, that they matter. Continue to ignore the voice of the people. Continue. Hashtag great is the PNM. That is from inside the belly of the beast. If you take the work that you want to be the person kissing Rowley's ass, when you put your lips there, it's people like Christian Hume face you're kissing. These people, PNM till they dead. What he talking there, fact and truth. And he's telling that to the PNM. That what you're doing is pure bullshit. And when that coming from there, the rest of you who sitting down silent, who have not yet decided to get up and stand up and to contribute to what is happening now, the change that is coming, who are you going to blame? Who are you going to blame when we end up like Venezuela? Tobago last night gave us, pushed the Titanic away from the iceberg. What the PDP accomplished in Tobago, what the Tobagonian people did last night was send a message. A strong and powerful message. And we, the people of Trinidad, owe them a debt of gratitude that we must never forget and build on what they did. It is time to change it, and if you want, we will stand up and we will stand with you. It is all it takes. It's people, consumers, voters, laborers. That's what we are. That's all we are. To those of you who are outside, Albert Montano, welcome. All of you who are outside, who are Trinidadians who left, fed up on the PNM and their bullshit, who believe in what we're doing and would like to see a better Trinidad and Tobago, please reach out to Felicia Holder. Commit to $100 US a month, a $500 US a month, $1,000 US a month. We work for free. We work for less than free. We pay to work. We pay all our bills. We pay all our gas. We pay all our... We sacrifice. When we meet in everything, we have to pay all those things. We pay the rent on the office that we have. When there's a shortfall, we have to pay it. We pay to serve. If you could assist us Any of you who are abroad, who are overseas right now, tell me, Philip, I could only afford a 50 US a month. Please, thank you very much. The Citizens Union of Trinidad and Tobago needs your help. The rest of you on the ground in Trinidad and Tobago, we want 100,000 members. We want to speak with your powerful voice. We want to help guide everything that changes the cost of living in this country and the difficulty. There could come a time when a court could hand a judgment to the Minister of Health to do better in public health and account for the $5 billion a year that is spent on public health, or he could be held in contempt. It is time the people of Trinidad and Tobago started to work this country as if we believed in our citizenship, and our responsibility for this democracy does not waver. That day will be the best day this country ever had. You're going to have carnival every weekend after that. Until tomorrow, those of you who hear my voice, we need your help. We literally need your help. Sign up. The more members we have, the more power the people has. We, the people. Sign up. You all heard me say, some people heard me say that I will support Cameron the UNC to get rid of the PNM. That angered some. I want to tell you, there is only one way that we could do this, and that is to change the political dynamic of Trinidad and Tobago. The PNM has infected the state of Trinidad and Tobago with operatives that make it difficult to change the culture of how things are done. But we know that and we understand that, and we have among our ranks some of the best and the brightest people who could fix those things. Can't do it without you. Has to be done. And while we're willing to work with the UNC, and I said we are, it's not anything goes. We want a better country. We do. That could be the only reason. Somebody now message me their receipt and say I'm in. Thank you very much, Mark. Going forward, I can't peel more. I'm starting to sound like Creflo Dollar. I can't peel more. All of you who are in business, you know how a business runs. All of you who are lawyers, you know how legal fees run. All of you who are in need, you know how this thing works. Tell your family, get on board, sign up, join the Citizens Union. Those of you who are in organization, who are being poorly done by the organization you work for, join as a company. Join as an organization. We will meet with the people and try and get mediation to bring everybody to a good place. This is a very difficult time for businesses right now, and everybody have to work together, big picture. But we could do that, all of us. I've told businesses already. I've told unions, stop asking for wage increases and start asking for profit sharing. Because profit sharing, if every police officer in this country shared in the profits of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, all them graveyard of police cars that you're passing all over the place, 10,000 cars that was brand new 6 months ago that mash up now, that wouldn't exist. The ambulances, broken down ambulance, broken down TNT truck, all of that wouldn't exist, because the people who drive it, who operate it, will now have an interest in it functional and lasting, because they wouldn't want to be spending money that will eat up the profit that they profit sharing. You understand this? Basic maths. We want a better Trinidad and Tobago, and we are willing to do everything in our power to make that a reality. If that is what you want, join the Citizens Union of Trinidad and Tobago tonight. Even politically, when we go to talk to political parties, we will say, we come with our 100,000 members, and we want recall, and we want referendum, and we want, these are the issues that are important to the people of Trinidad and Tobago. We want constitution reform, that campaign finance reform. We want these things, electoral reform. And if you agree to those things, we don't care about the price of bananas right now. We care about the operation of the nation state of Trinidad and Tobago. Once we fix that, price of bananas will fix itself. That's it. Join the Citizens Union. 486-CUTT, 471-CUTT, 769-4590. My number, 682-2110. Leave me for last resort. But message me if you can't get through with anything else. Go on the website, citizensuniontt.org, citizensuniontt.com. Join us, help us, reach out to Felicia and help us, and we will make it happen. Until tomorrow.